We've got one of the best pumpkin displays you are ever going to see, and we've got a beautiful update on a story that we've been following for a couple of months. Rich and I found this woman who has been battling COVID. She's pregnant, in the hospital, fighting for her life, was able to give birth, but had not held her son until this week. Rich and I's got a beautiful update. It's a great story. You're going to want to see it. Thanks so much for joining us here on the WTHR News app. As far as we can tell, we are not yet on Facebook. We're going to get this thing figured out, but we are happy to join you tonight here on the WTHR News app. And we're going to talk about the weather, all coming up in a moment. But if you see Angela and I smiling tonight, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, my Dodgers are beating the Braves in the fifth inning right now, 4-2 out in Los Angeles. They got to win tonight, another way, to keep the series going. And your Browns are winning.
My husband's Browns are winning. It was 10-0 when I walked over here, but Denver was driving, so we'll see.
All right. So
yeah, I'm going to post it sometime. But my sister-in-law got me a shirt for my birthday that says "Married into This" with the Browns kind of color scheme. It's very funny because I am a Colts fan.
Right. Well, she knows the Browns very well. She can break down the offense and talk about players all night long.
Yeah. Funny story. So Grace is a freshman in college.
Right.
And she wears her Browns gear.
Yep.
She didn't marry into that. It's in her blood. And people will stop her and give her a hard time and basically question her. Can you name somebody on the Browns?
And I'll bet she can.
Oh, yes, she can. She is more dialed in than I am. And then she'll give a couple of obscure names and I'll be like, ooh. You really are a fan. So she's not just throwing out Baker Mayfield.
She knows her roster well. All right. And you know weather well, and it was another nice day for us.
It was.
Though cooler.
It definitely was cooler. So if it's been too warm for you the last couple of days, the fall feel is back. 45 to 50 out the door tomorrow morning. It's been a little breezy this afternoon, tonight. Those winds should start to die down a bit overnight. Tomorrow there will be more clouds than sunshine. In fact, we've got clouds across the board from start to finish. 50 degrees at 8 a.m., only 51 at noon, mid-50s for highs. That's it. A cloudy, cool Friday. And under some of the thicker clouds, they have a few pockets of drizzle, a pop-up shower, nothing very heavy and nothing that's going to last all day. Just don't be surprised if you're out and about, if you've got some outdoor plans. Maybe you're on fall break, taking the kids to the pumpkin patch tomorrow. Definitely jacket weather, and don't be surprised if there's a little bit of drizzle from time to time.
It'll be a little cool at those Operation Football playoffs tomorrow, right?
Yes. First round of sectionals, am I right?
Yep.
So yes, definitely jacket weather for the high school football games.
You'll be selling a lot of hot chocolate tomorrow night at those games.
Yes, you will, for sure.
Bring the blanket probably tomorrow as well.
I would.
All right, let's go ahead and turn our attention to one of our best stories that we saw today on the news, and we just had to share it with you tonight here on the 10 o'clock. This story that Rich and I brought us. This woman who was not vaccinated, she was pregnant, went into the hospital, she was on life support, gave birth to a baby boy, but was unable to hold this boy until this week. Rich Knight brings us this beautiful update. Check it out.
34-year-old Autumn Carver arrived at Methodist Hospital by helicopter August 27th, 33 weeks pregnant and seriously ill with COVID-19. Doctors delivered her baby boy that day with Autumn on life support. Huxley spent 10 days in the hospital, but is doing fine and home with his two older sisters. COVID severely damaged Autumn's lungs. Medical machines have kept her alive for almost 2 months. Autumn has been out of sedation for about 2 weeks now, but doctors surprised the family when they said she could finally meet Huxley on Tuesday.
They answered prayer. We've been praying for that for nearly 2 months, every day, for her to get well enough that we could set this up and have this happen. It was very emotional, very powerful day, one that Autumn and I will never forget. He was at peace, he was calm. She fed him a bottle and he just laid there. And then Autumn got really tired, needless to say, holding a baby, and so we leaned her back, and her mom set Huxley basically on her chest, and he passed right out. He fell right asleep and was like super cozy. She was very happy, of course, to meet him. She kept telling him she loved him. It's hard not to be able to hold him and feed him and care for him every day. All the nurses and doctors that are helping take care of Autumn, I don't think there was a dry eye in the ICU where she's at.
Autumn came off the ventilator Wednesday. She has started to stand up and take physical therapy, but she still needs an ECMO machine to provide oxygen to her blood.
She knows the time frame and what she went through. She knows that she hasn't seen our daughters in 55 days now. She's fought and fought and fought for her life every single day.
The fight continues in Chicago soon. Autumn will transfer to Northwestern Memorial Hospital for doctors to help determine if her lungs will fully recover.
A lot of people will be praying for Autumn as she continues her recovery, and obviously for her daughter and now her son Huxley and her husband as well.
Yeah, and we hope for an improvement and healing,
You
but
bet.
she's definitely going to the right place.
Oh, you bet.
As far as Northwestern, I think we've done a couple of stories
And
on.
Maria's done stories on that woman that had the 2 lungs that collapsed, and
Yes.
so needed the transplant there. Yeah.
and successful up there,
Yeah.
so she's going to the right place.
Yeah, you bet. We'll continue to follow that story. All right, pumpkins, right? We're getting closer and closer to Halloween. And we love this story that Carlos brought us today about this pumpkin patch in, really not a pumpkin patch, it's a pumpkin display in North Vernon, Indiana. I mean, you think you've been busy carving pumpkins with your kids? They've got 400 at this pumpkin display.
That's a lot.
Carlos has this great story for you.
For most of the year, the Boyd family farm down in North Vernon is just your typical Indiana farm. But for 9 days every October, it transforms into the Boyd pumpkin display with hundreds of pumpkin designs for everyone to enjoy.
We might carve upwards over 400, 450 pumpkins through the course of the display, just trying to keep them looking fresh.
How many years you guys been doing this?
This will be our 29th year.
How many years do you want to do this?
Next year may be it.
No.
Yeah.
As you can tell, Melody Boyd wants to keep this pumpkin display going for years to come. Her husband Wesley, not so much. If it's so much work, why do you do it?
To see the smile on the kids' face.
Melody, what kind of reaction do you get from the people who come see this pumpkin display?
You're crazy. Letting all these people in your yard every year.
Wesley and Melody don't charge admission, they just put a donation jar out and then the Boyds donate that money to a local charity.
But it's just my way of giving back.
The hundreds of pumpkins would cost the Boyd family more than $1,000, but all these pumpkins are actually donated to the Boyds every year by Adam Fryan at Partick & Sons Farm free of charge.
I'm the setup guy, and I normally end up getting everything out there and setting everything up. She does all the cooking and getting everything ready for all the carvers.
About 20 or so locals donate their time to carve all these pumpkins.
We got people that carve and they love to come carve, and that's part of
They
it.
actually have a special scraping technique using an X-Acto knife to save time.
Not everybody wants to carve. Some people, they just want to come help, so we'll put them a gut or maybe just drawing on pictures.
The pumpkin designs are truly unique, and the Boyds try to work in a small theme.
We try to do a Disney section every year.
This year we're doing celebrating Disney World's 50th anniversary.
Is this the biggest event in North Vernon?
In Zenith it
In
is, though.
Zenith it is.
But it did get me on the Today Show one time. At spring break, I took a sign with us, and we went to the Today Show, and I put a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin on the top of it. Willard Scott saw it and wanted to know why I had a jack-o'-lantern sign in March, so he came over and talked to me.
And the pumpkin fame doesn't end there.
We are now in the Indiana Registry of Things to See in the state of Indiana in October. I think that's kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
So now back to that first pressing question. You guys think you have one more year of this?
We got more than that.
She says we do, but I'm tired.
We're not quitting yet.
It's such a great
It's
story.
a great story.
All right, so you good at carving or gutting?
Gutting. Put me in for gutting. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. I am not creative or artistic. I was always amazed. Both Luke and Grace would freehand
Really?
draw and then, you know, come up with something.
So they get that artistic ability from Mark then?
I'm guessing.
Okay,
Not
it's
me.
not you.
Gutting, count
Gutting
me
is
in.
what you're good at. All right, and telling the forecast also something you're very good at.
Thank you very much. Tomorrow morning, cool. Tomorrow afternoon, cool. We won't make it out of the 50s start to finish tomorrow. And don't be surprised if you're out and about, maybe gutting your pumpkin.
That's right.
A little bit of drizzle, maybe a few sprinkles.
And if you wanted to go see that pumpkin display, that's down. The Boyd Pumpkin Display begins Saturday, runs through Halloween, 6265 East County Road, 920 North in North Vernon. Google it, you'll find it. Boyd Pumpkin Display. Great to be with you tonight here on this Thursday. Friday is tomorrow. And we got the news for you coming up on 13 News at 11. We'll see you over on Channel 13. Good night.